Marcus was a 4-year-old marketing manager in Austin, Texas. Decent salary, stable job, a bookshelf full of finance books, and a YouTube watch history that would make any economist proud. And yet his savings account had $340 in it. Not $3,400. Not $34,000, $340. Here's the thing about Marcus. He wasn't stupid. He knew what compound interest was. He could explain index funds at a dinner party. He'd watched every how to get rich video the algorithm had ever thrown at him. But knowledge wasn't saving him, and chances are it's not saving you either. Because nobody tells you the uncomfortable truth. Financial literacy isn't what you know, it's what you actually do, consistently, automatically, without needing motivation every single morning. Today I'm giving you 8 brutal, tiny habits that close the gap between knowing and doing habits that take under 5 minutes each, that most people will skip, and that will quietly make you wealthier than almost everyone around you. Let's go. The number that will ruin every impulse buy forever. Here's a question nobody asks you. What is your time actually worth? Not your salary, not your hourly rate on paper. Your real rate after taxes, after the commute, after the unpaid overtime, after the 20 minutes you spend getting ready every morning just to sit in traffic. Let me show you what I mean. Take Sophia, a project coordinator in Chicago earning $58,000 a year. On paper, she makes about $28 an hour. Sounds reasonable. But Sophia commutes 45 minutes each way. She spends time prepping, staying late, answering emails on weekends. After taxes, she takes home around $44,000. And her real work-related hours? Closer to $2,600 a year. Her true hourly rate, $16.90. Now Sophia looks at a $180 brunch and sees 10.5 hours of her life. She looks at a $35,000 car and sees almost 2,100 hours over an entire year of her existence handed to a dealership. This single calculation done once installs a filter in your brain that never turns off. Action. Take your after-tax annual income. Divide it by every hour your job actually demands commute, prep, overtime included. Write that number on a sticky note. Put it somewhere you'll see it. That number is the price of every purchase you make. Remove willpower from the equation entirely. Willpower is a terrible financial strategy, and science agrees. Studies show that people who rely on self-discipline to save money fail at significantly higher rates than people who automate. Why? Because willpower depletes. Life gets chaotic. Emotions override logic. The fix is almost embarrassingly simple. Make saving happen before your brain gets involved. Here's how James, a freelance designer in Portland, finally broke his cycle of, "I'll save what's left over." Spoiler, there was never anything left over. He opened a high-yield savings account, the kind paying 4 to 5% interest right now in 2026, and set up an automatic transfer for the day after every client payment cleared. Not 30%. Not even 20%, just 7% to start. He never saw the money. It never sat in his checking account looking spendable. 6 months later, he had more saved than in the previous 3 years combined. Action. Open a high-yield savings account today if you don't have one. Schedule an automatic transfer for the day after each payday. Start at 5% if 10% feels impossible. The percentage matters far less than the automation. Let the system do the saving. Your willpower has better things to fight. The 30-minute ritual that beats 300 hours of finance content. Most people track their finances the way they track their health. They don't, until something goes wrong. Here's the alternative. 1 monthly money check-in. 30 minutes. That's it. Pick a date. Make it the same every month. First Saturday morning, last Sunday of the month, whatever works. Make it pleasant, good coffee, comfortable chair, no guilt. During those 30 minutes, you do exactly 3 things. 1. Look at where your money actually went last month. Not what you planned. What actually happened. No judgment, just observation. 2. Check your big goals. Emergency fund growing? Investments on track? Debt shrinking? Quick thumbs up or down on each. 3. Choose one focus for next month. Not 5. Not a full overhaul. 1. Reduce food delivery by 30%. Increase automatic investment by $50. Cancel the 3 subscriptions you forgot you had. One focus, executed well. Beats 10 goals executed poorly every single time. 30 minutes a month is 6 hours a year. That's less than a Netflix binge weekend, and it will do more for your finances than 300 hours of passive content consumption ever could. Action. Block 30 minutes on your calendar this month. Treat it like a meeting you can't cancel, because financially, you can't afford to. The question that separates the wealthy from everyone else. Rich people think about money differently, not because they're smarter, because they ask a different question before every purchase. Not, can I afford this? That's the wrong question. The right question. Will this put money into my pocket over time or take money out? Everything you own falls into one of 2 categories. A car takes money out: insurance, fuel, maintenance, depreciation, even paid off. It's bleeding you monthly. A skill that lets you charge higher rates puts money in forever. A designer watch sitting in a drawer takes money out. A rental property generating cash above its costs puts money in. This isn't a call to never buy things you enjoy, it's a call to know what you're buying. When Rachel in Nashville bought a $4,200 online course to become a licensed real estate agent, her friends thought she was crazy. 18 months later, that liability had made her $60,000 in commissions. When her coworker Derek leased a luxury SUV to look successful, that liability cost him $780 a month for 4 years. Same income. Completely different financial trajectories. Action. Before your next significant purchase, ask the question, asset or liability? If it's a liability, is it worth the ongoing cost? If you can answer honestly, you're already ahead of most people. The number that shows you the truth in 15 minutes. Forget monthly budgets. Forget income tracking. There's one number that tells you everything about your financial life. Your net worth. Everything you own minus everything you owe. Bank accounts, investments, property minus credit cards, loans, mortgage. That single number is your financial scoreboard. Track it quarterly. January, April, July, October. Here's why quarterly matters. Monthly tracking picks up too much noise. One bad month in the market can make it look like you're failing, even when you're doing everything right. Quarterly smooths the chaos and shows the actual trend. The median net worth for Americans in their late 30s hovers around $130,000. If you're above that, you're beating half the population. If you're below, you have a concrete target. Action. Open a spreadsheet. 2 columns, assets and liabilities. Spend 15 minutes filling it in. Calculate your net worth today. Schedule 4 reminders to update it quarterly. 1 hour per year. Complete visibility into whether your financial life is moving forward or backward. The phone call worth $500 that nobody makes. Here's money hiding in plain sight. Your recurring bills. Most people pay whatever they're charged. They assume prices are fixed, non-negotiable, set in stone. They're leaving hundreds of dollars on the table every year. Internet providers, phone carriers, insurance companies, they all have retention departments with real authority to lower your rate. Because replacing a lost customer costs them far more than giving you a discount. Once per quarter, pick one bill that feels too high. Call the company. Say exactly this. Hi, I've been a customer for a while and I'm reviewing my budget. The current rate is pushing me to look at switching. Are there any current promotions or options to reduce my monthly bill? If the first rep says no, ask for the retention department. They almost always have more flexibility. Lena in Seattle did this with her internet provider, her phone plan, and her car insurance in 1 quarter. Total savings, $67 per month. That's $804 per year for 320-minute phone calls. Action. Pick one bill this week. Make the call. Worst case, the answer is no. Best case, you just gave yourself a raise. The investment with the best returns on the planet. The average person will earn between $2 and $3 million over their working lifetime. Increase your earning power by just 10%, and that's an extra $200,000 to $300,000 career-long compounding returns on a higher income base. No stock, no real estate deal, no crypto play offers that kind of consistent upside. The habit. Spend money on learning and skill development intentionally, not randomly, not reactively. Deliberately choosing skills that increase your market value. I used to resist paying for courses. Why pay when everything's free online? What I didn't account for was time. A $300 course that compresses 6 months of trial and error into 6 weeks isn't an expense. It's one of the highest return investments you'll ever make. Action. Set a learning budget. Even $50 a month. Spend it on one skill that makes you more valuable professionally. Track what you learn and how you apply it. The returns compound quietly, and they can never be taken from you. Start now, even if it's embarrassing small. Here's the illustration that should keep you up at night. 2 people. Tyler starts investing at 23, puts in $10,000 a year for 10 years, then completely stops. Emma waits until 33, then invests $10,000 a year for 30 years straight, never stopping. Tyler invested $100,000 total. Emma invested $300,000 total. At retirement, assuming 7% annual returns, Tyler has more money. Not because he was smarter, not because he earned more, because time is the variable that matters most, and he gave his money more of it. If you haven't started investing yet, start now. With whatever you have, $50 a month, $100 a month. The amount is almost irrelevant compared to the decade of compound growth you're either building or surrendering. Simple strategy: a total stock market index fund or a target date retirement fund matching your age. Don't pick individual stocks. Don't time the market. Buy consistently. Hold forever. Action. Open a brokerage account this week if you don't have one. Set up a monthly automatic contribution, even a small one. Then leave it completely alone. The best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. Marcus, remember him from the beginning? The 3-4-year-old with $340 in savings? He didn't discover some secret. He didn't get a raise. He didn't win anything. He calculated his true hourly rate. He automated a 6% savings transfer. He started a quarterly net worth tracker. He opened an investment account with $75. 1 year later, his net worth had increased by $11,000. Not life-changing yet, but the trajectory had completely reversed. He told me, "I didn't change my income. I changed what I actually did with it." That's the whole game. 8 habits. Minutes per week. No willpower required. No perfect discipline. Just tiny, consistent actions compounding over time, exactly the way money compounds when you finally stop watching it and start using it. Pick one habit from this video. Do it this week, not next month, this week. Because the gap between knowing and doing is smaller than you think, and the cost of keeping it open is larger than you realize.